everybody. So I thought I would do a book tag today. And last night I watched the Opposites book tag done by Books and Lala. So I thought I would go ahead and do it myself. So we're gonna see how long this is gonna take. Of course, this might not matter anyway because this might take too long because it might be hard. So basically, the Opposites book tag is you have a category and you get the two and you get a book that represents the opposites of those in that category. I'm gonna start it and you'll figure it out. Although it's an old book tag, so you all probably I think it's an old book tag, so you all will probably know what this is. Okay, so number 1, the longest book you've had on your shelves and the most recent book. Okay, so let's see. Let me see if I can find the longest book. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. Dang, that chair moved. That one. Okay, so what did I buy yesterday? I actually bought 3 books yesterday. Okay, so I got this one. Let's see. Not that one. God, what 3 books I bought yesterday? Oh, here's one of them. What is the other one? Well, I'll just stick it though. I bought a 3rd one, but I don't know where it is. Oh wait, I think I put it up here. Oh, dang it. Okay. So, the longest book, I'm going to say, is Harry Potter. Because I think this is the only book from my childhood that I actually still have. You can see it's a little, you can tell it's old. The pages are a little yellow. It's ripped. The pages are a bit yellowish. It's ripped right here. And then, actually, my 3rd book, because I've opened it so many times, the same chapter, it's coming out of the binding. I'm actually in the middle of the series on book 4, and I'm definitely going to be reading. Goblet of Fire will probably be one of the books I'll be reading for Tome Topple, which I just found out yesterday is coming up. Is coming up next month. So this is the longest book. I got this back in sometime in the 90s, like 98 probably. Okay, so I bought 3 books yesterday, which I normally wouldn't do, but this was the used bookstore, so it was $11. Or not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I think. On Friday. I bought them. So, I bought The Grapes of Wrath, because I want to get more into Steinbeck, and I want to read Steinbeck with more, just get more into him. And what's great is this edition, if I tried to get this edition at Books A Million, it would be like $20. So I got this for like $3, I think. So that was awesome. And then I also got this one and this one. The Rook, which Peruse Project has talked about and really loves, and the Little Parents Bookshop. This is one I've seen at Books A Million several times, and I wanted to get it, but I never got around to it. So this was $4. Their price for their hardbacks are $4. So I got this one. So these are the newest books I bought, and Harry Potter's the oldest. Okay, so let's see. So the cheapest book and the most expensive book. Well, the cheapest will be easiest to get. Let me put these back. The problem with this chair is every time I get up, it's hard for the chair to film in because it moves. Okay. It's hard to get it exactly how I want it. Okay, so let me put these back. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Belle. Okay. Alright, 1 second. Okay. I don't know if I have a place for this one yet. Okay. Cheapest. Most expensive. Let's see. Almost all the 3 books. What was the third book I got for the day? I don't remember what book I got the other day. Okay, well I'll show these, one of these. Oh, that's right. Okay, so cheapest book is this one. Another purchase from the used bookstore. I got this for $1 because the YA books. Well, actually, the YA books at this bookstore are like some of the ones that are this size I think are $2, but it was half off. So I got this for $1. And then these books are usually okay. These are the fancy Barnes & Noble editions. Now I didn't buy this. This was actually a gift, but I know that these ones cost like $20 bucks, maybe a little bit more than 20. Okay, so next. Alright, a book with a male protagonist and a book with a female protagonist. Oh, that's not going to be that hard. Okay. Let's put this one back. Doesn't matter because it's all my books. I'm just gonna put this one back. Let's try this one. I'm going with. Oh wait, no. Wait, never mind. That one because that's not my male protagonist. Or female protagonist. They're both female. Sorry. Let's see. I'll just go with this one. Okay, so I have Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss for the male protagonist, Quoth being the protagonist. And then for female, I have Wicked Elphaba, who is known as the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. I really like this edition because the pages are colored green, the edges, which that's really cool. So this is about the witches of Oz, and particularly the two main ones, the Wicked Witch of the West and the Good Witch of the North, and how they met and everything, and how they go from being enemies to being friends to being enemies again. Like basically everything that happened before Dorothy arrived. And this one is about this guy, this mage, this wizard named Quoth, who is narrating to a chronicle. He's an old man in the present, and he is narrating to this chronicler about his life and how he became famous, and basically his whole life story. Alright. Okay, so I'll put those back as I'm looking for the next one. Okay, so quickest book and slowest book to read. Oh, that one might be hard. Black again. Dang it. Sorry about that. The screen keeps going black on me. So the quickest book is Catcher in the Rye. I read this in a few days. And I actually was very eager to finish it because Holden was getting on my nerves. And the only reason I'm keeping it, at first I was going to give it away. I was going to donate to the used bookstore, but then I offered to give it back to my sister because I'm sure this used to be hers. But then she was like, no, you keep it so you can have your own copy. So I kind of felt like I felt bad and felt like I had to keep it. Of course, my mom might say, no, you don't have to keep it. If you want to get rid of it, go for it. So I might keep it a little while longer. And then the longest book is this one. It's long in length and it's taken me a long time to read it. It's a very intimidating book, but I've gone through it before. It's just, with horror, sometimes I have to be just in the right mood to read it. So this one, like most people, this has taken me, I think it took me a year, well maybe longer than that because I took a lot of breaks in between reading it. But I definitely need to get back to reading it because this is actually the first book we're reading in the Big Books Book Club, and this is going to take me forever to finish. But I am determined. Okay, so a pretty cover and an ugly cover. That one's going to be hard because I'm not the type of person who pays attention to covers. I generally don't. I notice pretty covers, but I don't notice ugly covers. So let's see. Let me see. It's gonna be hard. Pretty cover or an ugly cover? Let's see where it goes here. This one goes. See, what is a pretty cover? You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna skip that one because I don't know any ugly covers. And I like all my covers. Damn it. So I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, so next, a national and an international. National, I think, means. Okay. This one, my international. Okay, so my international read is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This is the first book in her series. I'm up to book 3 right now, but I've started a little bit, but I haven't got very far. So this takes place mostly in Scotland. It's about this British woman. She's a nurse during World War II, and then the story starts after World War II, and her and her husband Frank are trying to reunite the old flame. So they go on kind of a second honeymoon to Scotland. And then while they are there, Claire, that's her name, she goes to the circle of magic stones and accidentally sends herself back in time when she touches them to the 1700s. She runs both into British soldiers and the Scottish clan. This is during the Jacobite Rebellion. And to protect her from the leader of the British, the regiment, Black Jack Randall, who is the the ancestor of her husband Frank in the present, to protect her from him because he's kind of an asshole. She agrees to marry one of the men of the Scottish clan, and that is Jamie Fraser, who everybody, including myself, is in love with. He is and it's basically about her becoming part of this family of Scotsmen, learning how to be a wife to Jamie, and him learning about her and how to be a husband to her, and understanding their cultures and the way their beliefs and getting to know each other. And at the same time, she's trying to find a way to get back, but then she starts to fall in love with Jamie and actually starts to like it there. So that's that one. And then I also have A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which I have not read. I started it, but have not come back to it. I think it's like a coming-of-age story and about this woman, learning, going through life and stuff. I'm not going to read the summary because it's going to take too long. Okay, so while I'm putting these back, I'll go ahead and look for the next one. Okay, so number 7, that was number 6. Number 7, a big book and a small book. Okay, so I got a lot of small books, and I have a handful of big books. Oh, no. Okay, so put this back. Go with these two since they're right beside each other. So for the small book, I have a classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm not familiar with I've never read the book, and I've never really seen the movie. But from what I know, I think it's about this crazy guy in his time in the nut house, essentially. This is my small book. Well, I probably could have picked a smaller book than this. And then for my big book, I have Ken Follett's I don't know how to say his name. Fall of Giants, the first book in the Century trilogy. I actually started this yesterday, but it was kind of hard for me to read it because we went to our village's Oktoberfest. So I was trying to read there while there was a little bit of light, but of course, there was music going on, people talking, so there's way too many distractions. It was hard for me to concentrate on this book. I don't really know what it's even about, but it does take place in the 20th century, and I love the 20th century. And I feel like you don't see enough book that takes place in the early 20th century, like early 1900s, like 1914, 1905, all that jazz. You don't see enough books like that. I mean, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there are a lot of them. I just haven't found them yet. Okay. Number 8, fiction and nonfiction. I actually do have some nonfiction, not a lot, but some. Okay, so let me go ahead and find that. Any book from nonfiction counts, so I'll just pull out one. Okay, so really, all my books most of my books are nonfiction. Fiction, so it doesn't matter. So I just grabbed this one, Stars Above, for fiction, which is the novellas of the Lunar Chronicles. I love that story, that series. I wanted to get back into it, so I finally bought the Lunar Chronicles. Finally bought the novellas. So that's my fiction. My nonfiction, I'm very, very particular about nonfiction, because most nonfiction reminds me of like the textbooks I had to read in school. So usually it's biographies, or like it would be a subject that I'm really into. I kind of went through a phase where I was a little obsessed with Amelia Earhart, and it was weird because I had like really short hair at the time, so it was very easy for me to dress up like Amelia Earhart for Halloween. And I think I did like a college essay or something about her, or some assignment on, and that's why I was, so I bought this, but as you can see, I never finished it. This is her biography. And recently there was like a special on TV about the possibility of someone might have seen her, a long time ago, that she might have not have died back then when her airplane disappeared. Which that was cool, but I never got around to watching it. I think it was during the summer, like July, when it premiered, when it came on TV, but my mom and I never got around to watching it. Which is sad, because it would have been interesting to watch. Okay, so number 9, an action and a romance. Okay, so romance might be hard. Hopefully I guess you'll have to settle for like the paranormal romances, because I don't have any actual romance. It's just romance. Well, Outlander, kind of. Okay, let's put that back. I'll go on this one for action. Oh, I got the perfect one for romance. Where is it? There it is. Perfect one for romance. Okay. Ah, damn it. So let's see, for action, Game of Thrones. This has a lot of action, a lot of people getting killed, there's wars going on, there's dragons and flying around there's people getting, like, it's filled with action. It's not like an action movie, but it has a lot. It does have action, and even has sexual action too. A lot of the and for romance, the classic, Gone with the Wind. I love this book. This is one of the few romances I still love. It's a classic, you know. I even have the movie, a special collector's edition of the movie. I love this romance. And Scarlett's one of my favorite characters. She's awesome. You know, she's not the best person in the world. She's kind of a bitch, but I just love this story. It's beautiful. I like to get my best friend who is into romance. You know, it's one of her favorite genres. I would love to get her to read this. I don't know if she ever read Gone with the Wind, but although I don't see her. Yes? Okay, I'll be done in a little bit. I'm just doing something. I love to get her to read this, but I don't know if she'll read it because it's so dang long, and it is over 1,000 pages. But who knows? Maybe she will read it one day. Okay, so I got one more to do, and then I gotta go. Okay, so the last one is a book that made you happy and one that made you sad. Okay, put these back. All my books make me happy, but for not like happy. I should probably pick one that I finished. Okay, well I'll just go with this one. And what's a book that made me sad? What's a book that made me sad? This is kind of reaching here because I still love the book. But then the book that made me happy, I just went ahead and picked Belle's Library. This is a book I got last May for my birthday. It's basically Belle's one of my favorite characters. She's the first, you know, female character that I just thought was so awesome. I wanted to be her. This is basically her little, you know, her commentary on books that she loves and how it relates to her life and her current situation while being in the Beast's castle. Now I love this book. This is awesome. This is an awesome book. I still love this series, but there was an aspect of this book that made me sad, which is that Cal kind of screwed up. The character of Cal Westfall screwed up and did not tell Selena about her best friend Nehemia and how she's going to sacrifice herself and that someone was trying to kill her. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I should have told you that. I should have said spoiler beforehand. But most people have read it. And unfortunately, because of her death, Nehemia's death, it kind of ruined Selena and Cal's relationship because they were just starting to fall in love and stuff. And unfortunately, and because Selena blamed Cal for her death. So it was more like a part of the book made me sad. But I still love this book. So that was the Opposites book tag. I will post who originally created this. I will post the link to create this tag. If you want to do it, go for it. You know, I don't tag people because I don't know who hasn't done these tags and who would want to. And I'm still kind of new to BookTube, so I haven't picked any. You know, I haven't really. I've talked to people. You know, commented back and forth to people, but not enough to feel like, you know, to feel like people are watching me and people will know I tagged them. So if you do watch this video and you want to do it, go for it. Like I said. All right. Bye.